Which is not me saying you look like a goofball. That's
No.
not what I meant.
No, but that's how I felt that you meant. So now I feel like a goofball.
Folks, that's the end of the interview. Thank you
Yes.
for watching.
No more.
This has been Tommy Johansson.
Goofball out.
Great guy.
If you're familiar with European power metal, you probably see the name Tommy Johansson and go, oh, I know who that is. If you're familiar only with American and British metal, you probably see the name Tommy Johansson and go, oh, I wonder who that is. If you fall into that second category, I urge you to get yourself out of it as soon as you can. Tommy is the founder and lead singer and lead guitarist of the European power metal band Majestica. Before that, Tommy played with Sabaton, ReinXeed, and Golden Resurrection. And Tommy's name is, as I understand it, quite well known in the circles of European power metal. He's really good at what he does. And I didn't mention he is also the songwriter, at least the primary songwriter for Majestica, as he was for ReinXeed. And his skill at songwriting, I would argue, is as strong as his skills at guitar playing and singing, which are pretty damn good. Tommy was kind enough to grant me an interview when I went to Epic Fest in early April 2025, and I didn't ask the usual interview questions, what was it like recording the new album? There's nothing wrong with those questions. I was just interested in different things, especially the metal community, if I can use Rob Halford's phrase, which I'm going to use a lot, because make no mistake, right? We have our own culture, our own community. Well, many cultures within the community, actually. The House of Metal hath many mansions, if I can paraphrase some book I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, oh hey, I'm Wayne, your metal professor. Thank you so much for choosing this video when you had millions of others to choose from.
Thank you!
I hope you like it. Please give it a thumbs up and do consider subscribing. Here is my interview with Tommy Johansson of Majestica. I hope you like it.
Well, first, do you really think that your purpose on Earth is to make all of us other guitar players feel inadequate? Because that's what I'm getting.
No, I think my purpose on Earth is, I don't know, it's hard because it's like it feels like some people have come to this Earth for a certain reason. But then at the end, it's like what you do with your time that has given to you. Like, I think that I've come to this Earth, if it's a gift, if it's a blessing or a privilege or a curse, I don't know. But I'm here, I have like 80, 90 years or something like that. And while I'm here, I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that I'm having as much fun as possible. If that includes, it could include playing music, be a singer, musician, touring, or just, staying home, be a family dad.
Have you read The Lord of the Rings?
I have not read. I read The Hobbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a passage in The Lord of the Rings that reminds me. What you said reminded me exactly of it.
Okay.
Because there's a big disaster looming, and Frodo, one of the hobbits, says to the wise wizard Gandalf, he says, "I wish this need not have happened in my time." And Gandalf replies, "So do all who live to see such times. But that's not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us."
Yes, exactly.
And,
maybe it's subconscious or something.
You're Gandalf.
I'm Gandalf. Well,
right on. All right. And talking about purpose gets me to what was going to be the last question I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
What is your purpose for your music? Or to put it another way, what effect do you want your music to have out in the world?
I want to create good music. I have a lot of music inside me, even when it comes to making covers. I have a lot of ideas on how to do things, how to rearrange things, and I just want to share that with everybody. I just want to share with people that this is the songs I've written. If you like it, that's awesome. For example, Sabaton, they had this purpose to tell a story, which is a brilliant idea. They're, genius, telling a story that has happened, informing people about stuff, about history, military history. When my music, it's not really the same. So it's more like I have a lot of music inside me, and I feel that my purpose is to share that music. And if people like it, that's awesome. If they don't like it, well, that's okay. But it's, for me, it's like when people ask me, why do you do that cover? I never heard that song. Yeah, well, I've heard it, and I love it. So, and if you don't love it, it's fine. But I love it. I do everything I do because I love doing it. So.
Yeah. Who would have thought that Spaceballs would make a good metal song?
I would.
You would,
I
yeah.
would.
And I believe it now too. Do you remember when you first, as a listener, got into heavy metal?
Kind of. I mean, I don't really know where heavy metal begins, because I started listening to Gary Moore when I was 9 years old. And at that point, it was both his rock songs and his blues songs. Some of the songs are heavy metal. Then when I was 15, 14 years old, I heard Stratovarius, and that was the first time I heard power metal. So that, gave me into a new path in life, listening to power metal. I want to have long hair, listening, you start to buy band t-shirts and all. So I think when I was around 15, when heavy metal came in, and my music teacher, he'd show me Ronnie James Dio and some Warrant and some other, Kip Winger as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Skid Row. When I was 15 as well, I heard 18 Alive, the end of 18 Alive with Skid Row, and I thought I never heard someone sing like that in my entire life.
Well, what is it that made you want to transition from listener to musician, to start making the music?
It was when I was 9 years old, and I saw Gary Moore. My dad, I mean, I grew up with Gary Moore. I thought Gary Moore and my dad was the same person when I was a kid, because they looked very similar in the face. Today is Gary Moore's birthday, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought Gary Moore and my dad was the same person. I'm talking like very, very small, a young child. And for me it was like, I don't want to see you on TV, Dad. Come on, this is boring. Just playing blues and stuff. But then, of course, I got a little bit older, 5 or 6 or something, and I realized, okay, so Gary Moore is another person. It's not like that. And then when I was 9, he showed me Out in the Fields, the music video from the album Run for Cover in 1985, and it was the first time I've ever heard any music like that, and it was the same point, the same time when I knew what I was going to do with my life.
Nice.
It's like I was just standing there. I remember it so well. I had a big fight with my dad, small child and dad fighting all the time.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, and I was in my room, slammed the door, and then he turned on the video, and I just walked out of there. Didn't care that we just had a big fight, screaming at each other or whatever. I don't remember what it was. He wanted me to clean my room or something. And I was just standing there next to him. It's like, what is this? It's like, dude, it's Gary Moore. What? Really? It was like, this hallelujah moment, or what to call it.
An epiphany.
An epiphany.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I'm going to do with my life.
I'm going to ask you to reach way back here, if you don't mind. Could you tell me how the Great Hall of ReinXeed came about? That is such a varied, ambitious track, especially for a first album.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I was very inspired. I mean, I was playing a lot of piano, and I was listening to, I don't know how to pronounce it, Bob Katastianis, keyboard player.
I don't know.
Yeah, he played in Firewind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he released a solo album when he released, power metal, instrumental power metal, and it sounded so good. So I was having this period when I was listening to his solo stuff, and I played a lot of piano, and then I came up with the melodies and the little fun piano like thing happening after the first chorus. So I was just playing around, thought it would be cool with some piano metal. Mm-hmm. Also, when we played live, I would play that on piano as well.
Okay.
But we played that song live 2 times, I think, and we didn't have a piano available. So, and then what I really like about that song is the solo part, because it's so melodic, and I really wanted to do. I've never been so much to fast guitar solos. I'm more focusing on the melody.
Sure.
Sometimes I write the chords after I've written the solo. I write the solo first, and then it's like, I change the chords. And that song was one of those songs that I based everything upon the melody that I.
How do you think that your culture, for example, your birth culture, or European culture in general, has influenced the way that metal has evolved?
I think the culture has, it's very important when it comes to music, because music is very important in culture as well. Every different culture is connected to a different kind of music. I mean, in Norway, that culture, then it's very prog metal and the black metal. That's like Norway. Sweden is heavy metal mostly, and then Finland it's power metal. So much power metal and melodic. It has to be melodic.
Right.
So, and I think it's very interesting. The same in Germany. Most of the power metal bands or the heavy metal bands in Germany is like guitar-based metal, like Halloween, Gravedigger, Iron Savior. While in Sweden and Finland, it's like you're focusing on the melodies, not just guitar riffs.
There's that orchestral quality.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And we have that in Sweden and in Finland. It's so weird because you listen to a power metal band and you can hear if they're from Finland.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I can hear that because I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like Italians, Italian power metal band. You can hear when it's an Italian power metal band because they have this kind of different chord progression that they use very often in both metal and pop songs, and it's like sometimes I can hear a pop song in Italian. It's like, this sounds just like an old Rhapsody song, or I can hear a Labyrinth and another Italian metal band. It's like, this song reminds me of that Eros Ramazzotti song I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, so every country or culture, they have their own melodies, their own legacy of music. In Sweden, it's a lot of folk music. We have a lot of folk music in Sweden, and it's like on a daily basis folk music. You can hear. You don't need a traditional ceremony or something like that to be able to play traditional music. Like you go to Germany in Beerfest, you know exactly what kind of music you will hear. Imagine that in Sweden, but we hear that music all the time. So of course that influences people around to create music like that.
30 years ago, or even longer, when I was in high school, the idea of like all-woman metal bands was unthinkable.
Yeah.
But now, all-woman metal bands, to me, seem to be just widely, generally accepted as just a part of the metal scene.
Absolutely.
What do you think changed that allowed that? What I think is a wonderful development.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just listen to, for example, Burning Witches.
Oh, I love Burning Witches.
They sound more evil than some of the most evil heavy metal bands, male fronted. And they really prove that you don't need to be a man to be able to play heavy metal. And I don't think heavy metal is, depending on what gender you have. Absolutely not.
The metal community, is this a thing, do you think?
The metal community?
The metal community, the feeling of, I'll give you, when I go to a metal concert, I feel like I'm in a room with friends that I just have never met.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so real. Because all the people here, they have one big thing in common. They all came because they're all here because they like the same kind of music.
Right.
And for some people, this kind of music has had a big affection on their lives. I mean, it affects how they dress, what kind of movies, interests they are. I mean, if you like the guy walking around there looking like an elf,
Yeah.
you can tell. Okay, he likes fantasy power metal. He likes Lord of the Rings. Perfect. I do that too. And you can go up to him and start talking about Lord of the Rings. Then you can talk about the bands that he's gonna see, and you like the bands too. Poof! All of a sudden you have a friend. I know so many people. They come alone because they meet people here. We all have something very important, very very important in common, and that is our love for this music. And for some people, myself included, the music has been a way to heal yourself mentally.
Yes.
It's like an escape from reality. I remember listening to Stratovarius, the Destiny and Episode album, when I was having a rough time in my teens. So every time I hear those songs, I feel good. I feel so good. Every time I'm sad, I turn on Episode or the Destiny album from Stratovarius, because then I get a little, just an ounce of that feeling I had when I was a teenager, and that's what everybody here has in common. That music, that feeling, that helped them.
Regardless of any differences they might have outside of here.
Exactly. I mean, some people here, they could be a banker, they could be a lawyer, a professor, or without job, whatever. But in here, everybody's the same. Just crazy nerds that loves metal.
Hey, what I have noticed here, and this is the first metal festival I've ever been to, but speaking like of the metal community, like I'm sitting here talking with you, a very famous metal musician. Nobody knows me from dirt. I stopped a couple of young ladies on the sidewalk to ask them some of these same questions. One of them was the bass player for Merciful Fate.
Oh.
And it's like, wow, okay.
Really?
So the artists and the fans and everybody just mingling, and it's just,
Yeah.
For me, this is a great experience, and I really appreciate your being part of it.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be a part of it, and this is my kind of festival. But it doesn't matter if it's a epic fest focusing on fantasy metal and stuff like that, power metal. Or if it's Wacken or Copenhagen, whatever, which festival you go to, everyone has it's in common, and that's why I think there's no police officers here. There's no
Right.
police cars walking around or 15 guards walking around making sure everybody have a good time, because everybody always have a good time on a power metal or a heavy metal festival.
Right. I've never been to a metal concert, which, pardon my language, I've never been to a metal show in which someone was a dick to me. It's always friendly.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to a music festival where there's non-metal music, so to say, and there's police everywhere, and every time you read a newspaper about this bad thing happened and this happened at the festival, there were drugs, there were assaults, anything.
Mm-hmm.
A big festival in Sweden, they even closed it down because there was too much men attacking women.
Wow.
Because they get drunk and and the guys take advantage. It's very very sad. So they had to close the festival down. That will never happen with heavy metal, because I'm not saying all heavy metal fans are good people. Absolutely not. There are bad people, bad eggs here as well. But still, we do have respect for each other. If we see someone is having a bad time, we go to help. If we see
Nice.
someone is too drunk, we help them. It's like one big family. Always, every time on the festivals or heavy metal shows like this.
Excellent. That is a wonderful note on which to end the interview. Tommy, Mr. Johansson, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you,
It was a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to meet you too as well.
and I am looking forward to your set.
Glad to hear that. It's gonna be a kick-ass set.
I have no doubt. That's what we got, folks. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for having me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, and turn on the notification button as well, so you know every time this fancy gentleman over here uploads a new video.
I didn't even pay him to say that.
I'll bill him.